Why hello there, and welcome back to Swodororg Short Rest, Zine Quest Edition. And in this episode I will be looking at Lichcraft, a game about pursuing lichdom in order to survive the 300-year waiting list for gender-affirming healthcare in a dystopian United Kingdom, making it the most direct game I've looked at in the very specific genre of games about wizards that are actually about trans rights. The game is set in the future year of 2069 in a United Kingdom under perpetual Tory rule. The game does go into a little bit of what's been going on in the previous 50-ish years, but not a lot. It does feel a bit like they wanted to keep things more open to easily allow for the setting to be shaped depending on what you need of it. Now, one interesting aspect of this game is that it is designed as a two-player game. There are additional rules for multiple players, but the base game is intended for one game master and one character. So let's make us a character. Characters are all some kind of magical trans person, and we need to choose or roll our character's gender, politics, hobby, day job, and source of magic. And the dice have decided that our character is a communist barista woman who enjoys reading and has ritual powers. Next we have 3 attributes, strength, sense, and spells, and we assign 1, 2, and 3 to them as we please. And finally we get 5 health, and that's about it. There's some more personal details to add in, but that is basically it. And now that we have a character, what do they do? Basically, the goal of the game is to perform a ritual to become a lich in order to survive a aforementioned 300-year waiting list. Although that does raise questions about whether or not undead can undergo medical treatments. Anyway, the ritual requires the spell itself, some kind of component, and a specific location in which to perform it, all of which are rolled on a series of tables. So, for example, let's say that the spell is scrawled on the back of an envelope, hidden in a museum, and guarded by hungry carnivorous books. Now obviously we want to get that envelope, and the books obviously want to stop and or eat us. So the easiest, if not smartest thing to do would be just try and run past the books and grab the envelope. We roll a number of d6 equal to our strength, and we can also add bonus dice if our politics, hobby, job, or power source would be of particular benefit to the task. And reasonably, our hobby of reading would help us here, since it gives us insight into the tactics and weaknesses of books. So we roll 1d6 for our strength and 1 for our hobby, then take the highest result, which is 5. And that is a success with complications. So the most reasonable outcome here is we get past the books and grab the envelope, but also get bitten, losing 1 health. And that is basically it. I do like how simple everything is, defining characters largely by traits that can be subjectively applied rather than precisely defined characteristics is a thing that I personally like in these simpler games, as it provides the most flexibility with the fewest rules. I also like the 3-scene structure that the game is built around. You find the spell, you find the component, and then you find the place to do the ritual. It sets up a very specific experience that is easy to run because it gives you the what and you just need to figure out the how. And the random generation tables create some fun and silly scenarios. And they even provide some alternate options with alternate tables for playing the game in the year 269, 1869, 20,069, and 42,069. They obviously thought the 69 joke was funny. The book is laid out fairly well, there's not too much art, but some nice hand lettering. And that is about it for Lichcraft. A game with a clever concept taking a current situation and elevating everything to absurd levels. What they give you of the setting is interesting, but they don't really give you a lot, and it does seem like you would need to be at least vaguely familiar with the UK to understand some of the stuff. Character creation that is simple but does the job. I do have one very specific complaint, and that is that rolling a 6 during character creation is always your choice, and if I wanted to choose, I would have just done that instead of rolling. The mechanics, like the character creation, are simple yet functional, nothing fancy, but they do the job. It provides 4 alternate settings, which, none of them are really elaborately detailed, but it's still 5 different settings for this game. And it is written and laid out fine, looks good, but, not spectacular. So overall, another fun little game that approaches a serious topic in a ridiculous way that makes it an absurd enemy that can be overcome with magic and ingenuity, instead of the way things actually are, which is generally less fun. Alright, thank you for watching, with extra special thanks to my Fightin' Flail Snails, Samuel Gorski, Randy Mulholland, and SC Woolridge. If you'd like to be cool like them, check out my Patreon where you can get early access to videos, recognition as a Fightin' Flail Snail, and fun stuff that I make for the Patreon. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine too. You can still hit all the lovely buttons, like, subscribe, these other videos, which I have been told by my secret source in the Pentagon, are lovely videos that you will also enjoy. And I will see you next time.